Hello, let me welcome you for the video tutorial class on management and economics. So today in this particular session we will discuss about the economics, that is introduction to the economics and the various topics that we are going to cover under economics. So the contents that we will be covering under the economics is engineering and economics, problem solving and decision making, law of demand and supply, difference between the micro and macro economics, equilibrium between the demand and supply, elasticity of demand, elasticity of price elasticity and income elasticity, law of returns, interest and interest factors, simple and compound interest, cash flow diagram, which is very important in the economics. So without a cash flow diagram it is not possible for you to solve understand any problem. Instead of solving, let us understand that if you understand the problem thoroughly through the cash flow diagram, you can able to solve the problems very easily. Okay, and also we will try to discuss about the personal loans and the EMI payment calculation with the fixed interest rates, and also discussion and the problems we will try to do in this particular chapter. Let us go to the first topic, that is engineering and economics. Let us discuss both the words, that is engineering and economics. Let us see the first, engineering. Engineering helps to develop the physical infrastructure that we all rely upon as on today, because either it is a building or it is a road, whatever the infrastructure that we are going to, physical infrastructure that we are going to create through engineering, we rely upon that and we will live with the engineering advancements or the technology today. Okay, so engineering ensures the growth and the development of the country's economy, because until unless you start engineering, that means the production, it's not possible for any country to improve their economy. So the economy can be improved through the transportation or the networking, roads, bridges, water and energy supplies, the wastewater management or the waste management, computers, hospitals, machineries, etc. All these things is where the engineering is involved will contribute to the country's economy. Let us see the economics. Engineering has much wider and long-lasting impact for the economic growth of the country. Definitely, because the country which produces the products or the finished product is the one which we call that as a growing country, or the which is the growth of the country depends on that. This is important to link between the economics development of country and engineering capacity. That's where the China even today it is trying to get a superpower. It is because of the engineering capacity or the manufacturing capacity that it is going to forming. Okay, so engineering economy deals with the economic factors, where different types of economies and how exactly the economy and the engineering plays an important role, that we will see in this particular chapter. Problem solving and decision making. So here the problem solving and decision making. So we'll see how exactly the problem solving and decision making will help each other. Problem solving, it is a analytical process to find the possible solutions to the situation at hand. That means we will be doing a various analytical, that is a step-by-step procedure of how to solve the problem and how exactly the problem should be tackled so that you can able to solve it without any problem or without any hurdles that you have in between. Okay, so decision making is a part of a problem solving. Yes, because problem solving, while doing a problem solving, you may have to take more than one decisions to solve a problem. Hence, the decision making is a part of problem solving. Problem solving is a complex process where you require the judgment, you require the decisions during the process of problem solving. Hence, whenever you solve the problem should be in such a way that where it should be a win-win situation to both the parties. That is a good solution to any problem that you have. Okay. Decision making, it is a choice made by one's using one's judgment. That means whatever the judgment that he is having, or whatever the experience that he is having, or whatever the information that he is having, based on that he is going to take the judgment, he is going to take the decision. That is what is a decision making. Art of making a sound decision is important skill for leaders and managers. For a leaders and managers to become a good, definitely you need to have a sound decision making capacity. How we can able to get a sound decision making capacity is by the virtue of information that he is having. The information may be the past experience that he is having, or based on somebody's failure or the success that he has seen. Based on that he is going to take the judgment, or he is going to consult the managers along with him, that is the senior managers along with him, and he can able to take the decision. But the sound decision is very, very, very important, because if you don't do the sound decision, then the entire whatever the decisions that you take or whatever the process that you do tomorrow will be under loss. Okay, a business may have a multiple problems which demands time and resources, because for any decision making that you have to do, it is the time and the resource. What resource that you have, what is the time that you have. Based on these two things, the decision will be made. Okay, or you can able to tackle the multiple problems that you have. Decision making is a part of problem solving. One may take numerous decisions as a part of problem solving. That I have already told you about that, because while solving a problem you may have it's not necessary that you have to take only one decision. You may have to take a series of decisions so that you can able to solve a complex problem that you have, right? Continuation to the decision making, it is a key role of a management and a leadership to decide which problem has to be treated on a priority. This is very, very important. The priority that you give in the organization plays a major role in success of the organization, because whatever you give the priorities, it should be based on various situations that you are tackling. So based on that you will be giving the priority. So that priority depends on how you tackle the problems and how you forecast the problem in the future days. Based on that you are going to prioritize the problems or decision making. Both problem solving and decision making involves critical thinking. You need to think critically. That is, you need to think about the past, you need to think about the present, you need to think about the future before you do the solving or taking a decision. Now let us see what do you mean by the critical thinking and how exactly the critical thinking process should one should have in the organization. Okay, critical thinking is a process by which you question yourself and others' assumptions. That is, whatever you do the critical thinking, it is based on your own experience or your own assumptions or others' experience and the assumptions what is there with respect to the problem what you have. Based on that your critical thinking will start. Okay. Critical thinking often results in the combination of research, analysis, questioning and the exploration of new ideas in order to gain rich insight into a situation. So based on that particular situation, what you are going to explore, what you are going to question yourself, how you can able to solve the problem, how you are going to take the past analysis or the present analysis, how you are going to do the research that why the problem has existed. So based on all these things, you can able to do the solution by doing a critical thinking, right? So critical thinking is the problem solving process by reasoning and evaluating. So the reasoning and evaluating are the two things that we process to do the problem solving. So when it comes to the critical thinking process, it happens in the brain. That's what we said earlier. So the critical thinking, you may need a number of words or the numbers or the lines or the logic or the structure or the analysis or the association or the images or the rhythms that you are having or the imagination or the shapes. So with all these things that possible things with the support of all these possible things you are going to do the critical thinking in your brain, right? Now let us discuss about the 3 steps in decision making. The 3 important steps in decision making are: first one, the use problem solving to identify the potential solutions for decision making, like the hold meetings, track particular areas of problems, collect the background information of the problem. Okay, this is the first step. The first step is to understand the problem, is to understand the situation, is to understand why the problem has occurred, doing the backtracking, understand the background information about that particular problem, because by doing that you will come to know the exact cause of the particular problem. Okay, normally whenever we are discussing in a layman's language, the problems will be a 2 types, that is, one is created problem or it is a natural problem. Normally the natural problems are very easy to find the solutions, but if it is a created problem, it has already been jumbled, it has already been twisted and turns have been given for the particular problem. Hence it will be very difficult for you to find a solution for the problems which is being created, right? Second one is determine which solution is the best fit to handle the problem. So you may have a number of solutions, you may have alternative solutions that you have. So you have to find which is the best solution. How do you find the best solution? It should give the optimum result with a less cost, with a less time, with a win-win situation. All these things will be considered and we will be taking the best solution for a particular problem. And the third one that you have, from the choice, from the chosen solution, make a decision which leads to the action. So once you take a decision, so next or the second step that you have is to implement it or to show the action on the decision that you have taken. You can see a sketch here which is showing that the particular worker or executive is finding there are number of ways that he is having. So number of routes that he is having. So he is confused which one to take, which path to take, how exactly he can able to take the decision to reach to his destination. Okay, that is what we call it as you have to hold track properly where exactly you have to go and how exactly you have to do. Okay, this also we say that it is a decision making is a stepwise process. First is questioning yourself why the problem has occurred, how the problem has occurred, who brought the problem and how it has been originated. All these things is you will be doing a questioning here. And the second step that you have is you are going to give the mental thinking that how we can able to find the solutions for that, what are all the different solutions that you have and how we can able to choose the best solution for decision making. And the final step is as you can see, there is a light which is glowing in the mind. That means he has found the solution such that it can be implemented and find a success towards the goal of the organization, right? Law of demand and supply. Yes, this is also important topic that need to be know about or study. So law of demand and supply and demand is a theory that explains the interaction between the sellers of the product and the buyers of the same product. That means the demand and supply, as you know, it is a seller and the buyers ratio that you are having, or it is a ratio between the sellers and the buyers, how much it is going to increase, what it is going to happen, that we will supply. What happens with respect to the less in supply, or what happens to the more in demand in this particular chapter. The theory defines what effect and relationship between the availability of a particular product and the demand for that product and its prices. Okay, how exactly the price varies depending on the each and every criteria we will be discussing here. Generally, low supply and high demand increases the price, and it is vice versa. So it is a, when the supply is very less and the demand is very high, automatically the price of the component will increase. If it is more amount of supply is there in the market, and if there is a less demand in the market, automatically the cost is going to reduce. Okay, so in a practice, supply and demand pull against each other until the market finds an equilibrium price. This we will in detail we will discuss about how the equilibrium and how the equilibrium increase in the demand, what happens to the equilibrium, decrease in the supply, what happens to the equilibrium. All these things we will discuss in the coming slides. Okay, so multiple factors can affect both supply and demand, causes them to increase or decrease in various ways. How to increase and how to decrease the supply and the demand in the market should be known. There are multiple factors. There is not only one factor which makes the variation. There are multiple factors which you have that you should understand how exactly it is varying. Okay, supply of factors of supply. Sorry, it is a cost of input, technology, weather, price of related goods. All these things will vary the factors of supply. Factors of demand is nothing but income of a particular person, or the price of the goods, or the taste of the customer. So this will fluctuate the demand. Okay, so the supply will be fluctuated with respect to the cost of input, technology, weather, price of related goods that you have, and the demand increases or decreases depending on the income of a people, price of the goods that you are buying, or the taste of customers. Let us see the difference between the micro and the macro economics. So here we have differentiated two, that is the microeconomics and the macroeconomics. So microeconomics is the demand and supply of product on a individual market. As the name itself says, it is a micro, that means very small. You are going to vary with respect to the individual market, that is Hubli market. So Hubli market, we take it and we say that there is a fluctuation in the demand and supply. No, actually whatever the vegetables or the this one which is grown in the nearby places of Hubli will be supplied to Maharashtra, will be supplied to Goa, will be supplied to the other parts of the India, and even it will be exported to the other countries. So the demand and supply of the product of an individual market will be very easy for you to identify. It is a small area that you have. But whereas in the macroeconomics, the demand and supply of a product on a whole economy of the country. That means entire onion which is being grown in the India, we take that economy, we take the demand and supply. It will be very difficult for us to understand. Okay, the effect of price of a goods will be very short period of time, will be very easy to understand the effect of price on the goods, but effect due to inflation, that is general price level, will inflate or will increase or decrease the cost of the product. Okay, individual labor market, because here the microeconomics is depending on only a small area that you have, hence the individual labor market depends on. Here in the macroeconomics, it is the entire employment or unemployment that you have in the country. Okay, it is not only the effect of only one particular area, it is the entire area that we take it. How much of educateds are there, how much of uneducateds are there, how the employment vary, how the unemployment has created. Okay, particularly in this particular COVID time period, there is a lot of unemployment which is being created. That is because of the macroeconomics, or entire market is down. Because of that, we are unable to give the employment to all the peoples, hence the unemployment criteria has occurred in this particular situation. Okay, individual customer behavior, that is how the customer behaves and what is his needs, what is his wants, all these things will be considered here in the microeconomics, whereas in a macroeconomics, in the macroeconomics, aggregate demand will be considered. That is, you are not going to consider individual's behavior, individual needs. The entire aggregate demand, the entire region demand will be taken into considered. Okay, supply of particular goods. That means you will be supplying the goods which is required for that particular area. Like you will be taking the red chilies, huge amount of quantity, hence the supply of red chili to the northern region is very important. That's what it do, the productivity, capacity and the economy. So you are here in the macroeconomics, you take the productive capacity, what is the capacity with which you can able to grow, what is the economy that is going to happen. Based on that, we are going to decide what goods has to be supplied and how the goods has to be supplied. Economy of a product in the market soon reaches the equilibrium. That is, to reach the equilibrium, that is, equilibrium is nothing but the demand and supply. Wherever the demand and supply comes to a consent, that is a place where the equilibrium achieves. That means the price and the quantity is in a exact ratio, or will be in a 1:1 ratio when the equilibrium occurs. Okay, the economy will be in the state of disequilibrium for a long period of time, because the area is very wide and the needs keeps on changing, and the demand also keeps on changing, supply also keeps on changing. There are various factors which makes the equilibrium to be unequal, or equilibrium will not get stable in that particular macroeconomics. Economy with respect to the small segment, the whole aggregate economy is considered here. Okay, so in short, you can say that microeconomics is with respect to small place, or with respect to small region, or with respect to the individual industry. But in macro, we consider the entire Karnataka, or entire India, or entire South Asia, or the entire Asia, or the entire world. We consider it, and then we try to find the various demand and supply, or the aggregate various behaviors, how exactly it is going to behave, right? Let us discuss about the equilibrium between the demand and supply. So the law of demand states that if other factors remains equal, the higher price of the goods, the lesser people will demand that goods. That means if the price of the product is very high, the demand, or the number of units that you are going to sell for that particular product will become less. In other words, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demand in the market. That means market will not take huge number if the price is very high. The demand curve is in downward trend, as the supply curve is upward trend. That we'll see in the next slide, how exactly the demand curve and the supply curve varies. As you can see in this particular sketch, where the demand, when the demand is very high, the price will also be very high. As the demand decreases, okay, as the demand decreases, the price will also goes down. Similarly, the supply, as the small supply is there, the quantity will be very less. As you increase the supply, the quantity will be very high. So hence the price and the quantity will have a relation between the demand and the supply, and wherever the intersection of the demand and supply occurs, that is what we call it as a equilibrium, where the price and the quantity will be in equal ratio, right? So as the quantity increases, the price will also increase. Okay, as the quantity increases, the price also keeps on increasing. As the law of supply and demand is a theory that explains the interaction between the seller and the buyer of the particular product. What does the seller wants, what does the buyer wants, all these things will be explained in this particular sketch, how exactly it varies. We have shown you here. The demand is a negative curve that you have, and supply is a positive curve that you have. So between the positive and the negative curve, wherever it intersects, that is what is the equilibrium which you expect. Every organization would like to establish this equilibrium, because that is where he will be having a stable running of an organization. He can able to predict how exactly the organization can move. If there is a demand, more demand and more supply, definitely that is the change will be there in the market. There will be the chances of new products can come in. That is a chances of people shifting to the some other product, or they are going to adjust themselves or console themselves if the demand is very high. Okay, let us see more points about the demand and supply that you have. The theory defines what affects the relationship between the availability of a particular product and the demand for that particular product has on its price. So here there is a sketch which is shown where the demand increases. Okay, the equilibrium will also increases. The price rise if the demand goes up from a D1 to D2. The price will go up from P1 to P2. If the demand increases from D1 to D2, the quantity or the supply will be increased from Q1 to Q2. So this is, as the demand increases, the equilibrium point will also keeps on increasing, and the ratio will get disturbed. The equilibrium is the interjection of demand curve and the supply curve, which indicates the balance between the supply and the demand. If the demand increases, equilibrium price increases. On the other hand, if the demand decreases, the equilibrium price also decreases. If the supply increases, the equilibrium price decreases, as shown in this particular movement. That is the supply curve. As the supply increases, the demand also, the price increases. On the other hand, as the supply decreases, okay, the equilibrium price decreases. This is what the sketch which shows the supply increase in the demand and increase in the supply. How exactly the ratio will change from the demand and the supply curve what you have. Let us see the elasticity of demand. The elasticity of the demand may be analyzed from the demand and supply point of view. The price elasticity of demand, there can be two types of elasticity, that is elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. That means how exactly these two elasticities that you are having. It is the price change in the quantity demanded of a goods or service divided by the percentage change in the price. That is, in the last sketch you have seen, that is how exactly the change in the price, the change in the quantity, this is what is the price change, and the quantity change that you are going to get will be established here. Okay, change in the quantity demand of a goods or the service divided by the percentage change in the price level is the demand elasticity. On the other hand, that is the supply elasticity is the percentage of change in the quantity that is how much change in the quantity occurs divided by the percentage change in the price that you are going to get, will give you the supply elasticity. Okay, these two types of elasticities are there. The market or the people should know whether the elasticity market is the demand elasticity or the supply elasticity. If you go beyond this elasticity, there will be a problem with respect to the component or in the market or in the with respect to the change in the product. Need to be understood or need to be bring into the market so that you can able to again remain in the demand elasticity or the supply elasticity. Okay, let us see that the income elasticity here. The income elasticity refers to the sensitivity of the quality demanded for a certain goods to a change in the real income of the customer. This is very important. That is, what is the real income of customer who buy this goods and keep other things constant. That means, what is the income that he is going to get? If I purchase a mobile, what is the income that I am going to get? What is the facility that I am going to get? How much of pictures that I can able to take? How much of processing that I can able to do it? How fast it gives? How appealing it gives? All these things will come to the income elasticity. That is the sensitivity of a quality demanded for a certain goods. That is important. Okay, a positive income elasticity of a demand is associated with the normal goods. As increased income will leads to the rise in the demand. That means for a normal goods what you have, the income and increased income will lead to the increase in the demand. For an example, if an employee is earning around 10,000 rupees a month, instantly from next month onwards, if he is earning around 20,000 or 50,000 rupees per month, 5 times it is increased. Okay, so 50 times it has increased. Instead of 10,000, if it is 50,000 is increased, so automatically the demands will also increases. He is having a buying behavior, or he is having a money to buy in his hand, that is his pocket is full of money and he can able to franchise, that is a buying behavior we call it as. Since the buying behavior of a particular person increases, automatically the demand of the goods will increase in the, because of the corona you can see the lot of products are not finding the demand there because the increased income. This is reduced. Income has reduced now from the last 6 months. So since the income has reduced, automatically the demand for the products have decreased. Because of that, every people is giving some or the other offers. They are giving either the cashback offers or the quality offers or the premium offers. Some or the other offers they are giving. They are trying to raise the sales in the market. That is what is the demand is. Okay, if the income elasticity of demand of a commodity is less than 1, it is a necessary goods. If it is greater than 1, it is a luxury goods. So we always give the whether it is equivalent to 1 or lesser than 1 or more than 1. So if it is equivalent to 1, it is a good which is needed. If it is lesser than 1, it is an commodity. Less than 1 is a necessary goods, and it is a 1, it is a luxurious goods. So how do you find out the demand elasticity of a particular person? Is to compare how much percentage that he needs and what he thinks about that particular product. Oh, sorry, there is law of returns. There is this one law of returns that we have given. So in the long run, all factors of production are variable. No factor is fixed. Whenever you are running an industry, all factors of a production are variable, including the raw material, including the machinery, including the condition, that is the time in which you are going to run, including the labor or the human capital that you have. All these things varies. Okay, hence there are a lot of factors which is there in the production to vary. The law of return, operates in the short period with one factor variable while the other factors kept constant. So how do you take the law of returns? The law of returns will be calculated by keeping one factor varying, by keeping all other factors with a constant or keeping it a constant, and then we will be seeing the law of returns. Returns of scales. Return to scale leads to the scale increase in total output, but beyond some point the resulting output decreases, will become smaller and smaller. That we'll explain with this particular sketch. Okay, there are three types of return on investment, or ROI we call it as, return on investment, or law of return, LOR we call it as, increased rate of return. The first one is increased return to scale, constant return to scale, and diminishing return to scale are the three types that you are having. So when you plot the graph of the marginal products that you are going to produce and the scale of output, the law of return to scale is increasing returns during the particular time period till you reaches to a particular stage, and then there is a constant returns will be there, that is every time, that is every with respect to the time period the returns that you are going to get will be constant, and later on there is a diminishing rate of returns. As a producer, what you have to do is to increase your returns to maximum, and try to stay in this particular time period for a long period of time, that is constant return whatever you get, stay in this particular period for a long period of time. Whenever you see there is a diminishing in the returns, you have to change the products, you have to bring in some new products. That's what if you can take the examples of your SIM currencies which are going to give, or the mobiles that you are having, or the vehicles that you are buying, the two-wheelers or the four-wheelers, okay, they will be seeing this particular thing very sharply. That means there is whenever they introduce a new product or new mobile in the market, there is an increase in return, and over a period of time, 3 months or 4 months time period, it will get constant, and after 6 months the new products will come, automatically the demand for a particular product will decrease. Hence within 6 months or 8 months or within 1 year, they are going to bring new model to the market, such that they can able to retain this constant returns for a long period of time in the industry. Because if you don't do any constant return, if you don't take any measures during the diminishing returns, automatically you have to close down the unit for over a period of time. Hence, the law of returns, you always have to see that how exactly it is behaving, where exactly you are going down, where exactly you are going to increase, or where exactly you have a constant returns that you have, and based on that you have to take a decision with respect to your business, what you are doing. Thank you that we could able to cover the law of return, diminishing of returns, and some of the aspects of the industries here. Thank you.